A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, then how great is the darkness? This famous quote of Jesus, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, or maybe it's just famous in churchland, where I think you probably, along with me, you've heard a number of preachers take that and suggest that that would be a helpful diagnostic tool for you to pull out your calendar, the places where you spend yourself, spend your time, your money, your gifts, the places that reflect how we spend ourselves, our checkbook ledgers, for those who are old-fashioned enough to know what those are, checkbook ledgers, our date books, also old-fashioned, but those places where we record how we spend our time, our money, our gifts, ourselves. It's often been heard as a diagnostic. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So if you want to know where your heart is, look at these places and figure out where you're spending your treasure. And it was at another community that I served a number of years ago where a lay stewardship professional was preaching for us, and he took this passage and kind of blew my mind by saying, if you'll notice, it actually says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Not where your heart is, that's where you'll spend your treasure, but where your treasure is, your heart will follow. He said, the good news in this message is that if you want to love something more, there is something very concrete you can do to affect that. If you want to love something more, if you want to draw closer to the heart of someone or something, one of the ways you can do that is to spend your treasure there. And he went on to explain, if you found yourself spending or sending half of your paycheck to your alma mater every year, you would surely be very invested in reading every single newsletter that came out of that place because you would be invested. And so the good news of this little snippet of Jesus' teaching is that if there is someone or something or some place in your life that you feel it would be better if you loved it more or them more, including if you think it would be good in your life if you found a way to love God more, one of the ways you can bring that into being is simply by applying your treasure. For where your treasure is, your heart will be there also. So join me in looking at however it is you account for your time, for your money, for your gifts, for the ways that you spend yourself in this life. And look at it as a diagnostic about what it might say to someone about what you valued. But if you get to that and you think, I want to value other things more, it's in your ability, it's in your grasp. Simply invest yourself, spend yourself, apply yourself in those places where you want to love more, and ask Jesus to be in that project with you. Through Christ. Amen.